IEM New York happening under a mile away here. We're in Game 2 of Sasquatch against Suppy. Right now, Suppy is up 1-0. Game 2 on Whirlwind. Of course, the winner of this match will go up against Life. And the winner of that match will be qualified for Group Stage 2, which starts tomorrow. Or I guess it's just called Stage 2 or whatever, Day 2. And the super big thing about getting Day 2, you're guaranteed top 16. Top 16 means WCS points, but also for some of these guys, for example, Sasquatch and Suppy, they're not going to BlizzCon anyway. Unfortunately, they don't have enough points. But top 16 means money. You're guaranteed at least a lot of money. And of course, Suppy's a collegiate student. Of course, you're a collegiate. You're a student as well, aren't you?
I was. I graduated
okay,
like
you were.
3 weeks ago.
Awesome. Well, so you at least have a very recent experience with the student economic crisis, right?
I do.
So having some extra money always helps you there. But here we are on Whirlwind, on the upper left-hand location. Very convincing play in game number 1 from the Red Zerg EG's Suppy. And his opponent in the top right was defeated in game number 1, but definitely is coming here to play. Made it to loses round 3, does not want to fall out quite yet. Complexities, Sasquatch.
Well, he definitely doesn't want to call out. Say
No.
that. But they were joking yet again in chat, and he says he might get lucky in the game sense.
No, Suppy's calling his build. Looks like Mr. Daniel, our professional administrator. Actually, really quick, I want to give a shout out to Farside. He is lagging right now, but Farside has been administering professional gaming events for probably close to 10 years now. And I mean, I've been in the scene a little longer than that even, and I have to say, he's one of the most professional guys. Like, no one's ever had a problem with Farside ever. Like, he's the only admin I think you can ever say that no one has ever complained about in such a long time and with such amount of experience. Of course, he's been working for full-time for IEM, ESL for quite a while. Of course, meanwhile, more conversation from the players here, Sasquatch and Suppy. Very friendly guys.
Well, it's only 5 seconds more, and I mean, will they drop him?
I don't know, will they? That's true.
Well, looks like it. The game goes on. He's fine.
Yep.
He'll watch from afar.
He'll be fine. He can watch our stream.
Exactly.
Talk to us on Skype or whatever. So we do have, actually, one thing important to note. Both players did scout their first overlord in the correct direction. And you know, one weird thing that I've never really figured out is what, like, so I've heard a lot of people say that they'd rather scout counterclockwise on Whirlwind because you get to your opponent's natural first, if you guess right. But for example, Suppy in this game's got it clockwise. And different players do it differently, and like I've never actually really figured out the Zerg voodoo behind a 4-spawn map, which way to scout.
I feel like it might be, it might be for some people, they really, dig deep and go into the extra inches, but for some people, just like, I happen to click over there first.
Yeah, it's just kind of a random click there. Both players with fairly similar openings here. In fact, almost exactly the same. Of course, Sasquatch slightly faster gas, but that shouldn't really make a significant difference. I mean, the main difference is, of course, there's a pool hatch for Suppy versus a hatch pool for Sasquatch. But given the fact that Suppy's, because he scouted correctly, he's not even making a single Zergling. If you don't make any Zerglings, the pull first isn't really an economic disadvantage. In fact, you can see worker counts very similar, and larva is very similar as well because of course, he has less larva from this hatchery produced later, but he's one inject ahead on his main hatchery. So,
yeah, these builds really even up together. You have to do very drastic, like we saw Suppy do last time, to actually get something in that early game. With these builds, it really is just, those inches again. So we're not going to see anything until the mid-game when they decide to do it. So as you can see, Melba Boost is very, very similar. We're not going to see any timings where one player just runs into the other person's base. What we could see is a very passive game. Now, Mutalisks aren't that great, or that popular, I should say, on Whirlwind in ZVZ. But sometimes when Zerg players, they feel to be really, really passive, they go up to a lair very, very fast. Although we do see that Suppy is getting a Baneling Nest. We'll see if that's defensive or aggressive. Usually when it's defensive, we see a Spine Crawler along with it.
Usually we do, and Sasquatch is doing something that I haven't seen very often, which is taking the drones off the gas once you get Zerging speed with the build he did. Normally, you know, they do what Suppy did. You keep the drones on gas, you get Baning S, and then you can either be aggressive or defensive. But either way, you keep accumulating gas and progress either the layer or to roach upgrades or, you know, however you want to progress. Sasquatch though, he is accumulating a lot more minerals because he's skipping the gas. But again, similar to last game, he's going to see total map control. And of course, the minerals have been spent on additional queens. You can see Suppy with 2 queens, Sasquatch with 4. Sasquatch with he's got a pre-spread, he has additional spine core. But again, just now putting units on gas, he's giving up total map control, and Suppy's going to recognize this probably. Okay, is he? Oh, well, I think he saw a queen on the ramp, which may give away the fact there's additional queens.
Yeah, you wouldn't really put the queen that's in the main on that ramp, you know, without, you know, knowing that something's happening until Links really didn't show that. But Sasquatch is going to go in there. He's going to do, he's going to try and get up there, but Suppy with his own,
block.
Yeah, cheeky little block with those links, going to try and get some drones, and then probably just get out of there. Unfortunately, neither one really scouting the full extent. Sometimes we do see those amazing scouts with just 1 ling. You know, those definitely happen. What we see here is that Suppy did go for a faster layer than Sasquatch, and Sasquatch is going for that double Evo. It could be very similar to last game.
It could be. Now, double Evo into Roachborn is interesting. I guess he really wants to get ahead in upgrades with Roaches. 1 Evo is a little more common. Sasquatch, you know, we talked about this before. He has his own idea of builds, even not just early game rush builds, but also ways to approach the macro game. And his whole idea, you take drones off gas to get extra queens, but you get speed first, and then you get double Evos and a later lair tech. It's pretty interesting, and we're going to see how it plays out. Now, his third is a little faster, but he's got a bit of protect this, and without Banings, that can sometimes be a little more tricky. Of course, the third isn't super close to the natural, and you pointed out last game, the roaches are a little slow, so we'll see how he does in defending the third base, because that's going to be key. I think last game that was huge, the fact that Suppy was able to cancel it twice. Yeah,
this time, though, Sasquatch, of course, has that Melancholic boost. Suppy isn't sure that Sasquatch doesn't have a Baneling Nest. He's, you know, he's hoping to get something done here, and luckily for him, it will probably do a lot. Sasquatch's going to have, you know, very nice control. 1 ling for 1 Baneling to actually control this, because if all his lings detonate, that third will go down.
Here it comes. There is a spine core on 2 queens. That could be the key defense against the Banings. You know, Sasquatch keeping the Zerglings in reserve here. 1 queen goes down. Oh, most of the speed is taken off by a single Bane. This is actually great for Suppy. He's continually reinforcing. And now, you know, I like how he ignores the spine core, goes straight for the hatchery. He knows the gas is not a priority, but looks like Sasquatch will keep that alive. He did lose 2 queens, but the third is a bigger story.
Yeah, so that's, you know, much different from last game. Lings from Suppy are going to go ahead and get into that main. They're going to see what they want to see. Maybe even snipe a drone. Looks like maybe 1 will go down. Oh, not quite.
Not quite. One of them got pretty close, but he's going to be happily mining here.
Yeah. One thing that was really nice about that attack as well was not only, you know, did he, you know, take out all the lings, which, you know, isn't that nice, but he killed some queens, and Sasquatch has been showing some queen-heavy play, and Suppy is, of course, going for those mutilas. So that's really going to help out, because he's going to have 4, I believe he's still rebuilding his queen count. Yeah, it's back up to 4, but spreading them out and waiting for them to spawn, that gives an opportunity for Suppy to do something with the mutilas.
Now, Sasquatch has identified the mutilus play already. We can see he's got Spore Crawler up in the third base. The second Spore Crawler being built in the third base. He may, in fact, one in the main as well. So he's going to be fine. Now, his Roach Sack at the third base is more just to kind of maybe get some drone kills, be annoying, keep the mutas at home. I don't think we'll get the hatchery, but actually he's getting a decent number of drones here. And the Roaches are pretty expendable at this point.
Yeah, that's a really nice move. You know, roaches, they're already halfway across the map. Why not do something? And, you know, additionally to getting maybe a few free drone, semi-free drone kills, you keep the mutas back. So if you didn't have good defense, that would be the time that you caught those spores up and had a good defense. Of course, Sasquatch already identifying has it, but we see that Suppy, this game, is also going for those very fast infestors.
We are, and that's, you know, that could be a reaction. Last game he went for that big roach timing after mutas, and I think that was because he knew he had a big advantage killing the third base like that. But this game he doesn't have the same advantage he had last game, so aiming for a more macro late game style, taking straight to infestors. He's of course getting roaches behind him, but prioritizing those energy units that will get stronger over time. Now, Sasquatch is doing the same thing, so we do have Sasquatch going, both players going roach and infestor basically behind us, but Suppy has the mutas and a map control for now. Sasquatch's advantage that he's ahead in the upgrades. So, you know, the mutas might give Suppy a better ability to drone up his third base. We see a few drones ahead there, but not actually too many. He is a little bit ahead in supply, but not that much, and I actually do think Sasquatch may be in a slightly better position unless the mutas can continue to get a lot of good damage done.
I agree with you. I don't think Suppy can be able to do too much. He's already killed off, the outlying overload. That does give him map control, so unfortunately Sasquatch doesn't know what Suppy's doing unless he gets, a very lucky Overseer Scout. But the fungal does not land. That actually would have gotten all of them. It would have been disastrous. You do want those, at this point you're getting roaches, so mutas might seem the biggest thing in the world, but they are, really, really good to have out in the map, to be able to snipe infestors, to have that map control, and you don't want to just give them away for free.
Yeah, exactly, and right now you can see Suppy is using the map control. He knows, okay, my army composition in the straight-up engagement will be a little bit weaker because he's heading upgrades, but I have map control, and he's denying the creep tumors to keep more of the map vision away from Sasquatch, and he's using it to take a much faster 4th base, so that actually could be telling as he gets more gas in his opponent, can use that gas to go to Hydras a little bit faster, and of course, like in the battle, mutas aren't super useful, but if you force them to use your fungals on the mutas, at least your roaches have a little bit more durability.
Yeah, and he's still doing damage. He's finding overlords that are coming out right here, and this is, just making them much more effective. Oh, nice! Sasquatch catching them off guard a little bit and will not lose any infestor this, but take out about 6 mutas.
Yeah, that's definitely a big win for Sasquatch. They're going to get every single one of those mutas. Now that counts down to 4, and it's still enough to be annoying, but not enough to really snipe off an overlord really quickly or anything like that. And Sasquatch is moving up for a little bit of attack here now. His units, he doesn't have the largest army. Has he identified the 4th? He hasn't identified the 4th base yet. Here come the mutas back again. They're going to force out more fungals. Or not. Just going to save those.
I think Sasquatch was a little on to that. He was pushing out, and Suppy, of course, saw it, so he doesn't want to waste those fungals in case Suppy is caught off guard. Now, Suppy, he's starting to roach up, but he unfortunately has had the lower roach count, actually. He just skyrocketed back up to 24, so this will be very even, in regards to all units, 23 to 24 roaches, 8 to 7 infestors. Sasquatch has the better queen count, but of course it's not going to be anywhere with the limited creep spread that he has.
That's right. It's fairly even except for the upgrade count. It's the only thing Sasquatch has. He's 2-1 versus 1 attack. But some nice streams of fungus. Actually catches a lot of units there. Great spreads from both players. And Suppy with the Spine Core and of course closer to his rally point. Oh, great chain fungals on infestors. Oh no, that was terrible for Sasquatch. Suppy getting a lot of kills there.
Yeah, now Suppy, he's going to go for it. Actually, Sasquatch is going to go for it, but I don't know if it's going to work. Suppy has a very good arc, and Sasquatch army just looks suddenly very, very small, but the rest is coming from the left side. But I think Suppy has more than enough. In fact, he's up in supply right now. And keep in mind that even though he's low on upgrades, he has that 4th hatch, and he had more drones. He still does, up about 10, so his economy is going to start booming.
Yeah, Suppy definitely got a great engagement there. We were talking about how even both the players were coming into that, but it was right next to Suppy's rally point. So, of course, additional reinforcements rallied in. And I think one of the defining moments there was when he got the fungal on 5 of Sasquatch's infestors and took those out quickly. And now Suppy's looking to counterattack. He has twice as many roaches on the field as his opponent. He also has twice as many infestors. That being said, it also was a reverse situation where all of a sudden we're much closer to Sasquatch's rally point. So Suppy, he's actually not being hasty. He's waiting for reinforcements. He's setting up a good kind of position where he can use the maximum amount of forces. Sasquatch is still having trouble maxing out.
Oh, and he only has 3 infestors. He had the more infestors than last battle, but they, of course, got fungled. So Suppy has a very good opportunity here. Last time it was very even, and then he went into defensive posture. This time it's not so even, and Suppy is going to go ahead and attack here, and he might be able to break through.
He very well might. Remember, Suppy's also on 4 basic economy behind us. Sasquatch's 4th just got up, but there's nothing mining there. Suppy's pushing in here. I like how he's avoiding the majority of the forces, though. Now a few horses come in there. Great fungus from both sides, and both players spread the units very well. In fact, Sasquatch actually is going to push forward here, and that really shows the defender's advantage in large maps of PvP.
Yeah, I was a little unsure of what Suppy was doing there. In fact, he ran infestors into the army and lost 3. Of course, he's going to lose the rest right now. So another, opportunity that just did not go for the attacker. And I think if this game does not end here, they will be much more hesitant to attack in the future.
It's definitely looking that way. Sasquatch, is he going to return to favor, perhaps overcommitting here? Well, actually, is he? It looks like he has the better concave, but of course Suppy reinforcing units very quickly here. But Sasquatch, so many hydras in the back, doing a lot of damage, and Infestor's coming up as well. And that's going to be the game. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that just shows how quickly a game can turn, because Suppy, he looks so good in the defense, and then, overextended a bit. Like he said, he miscontrolled the Infestors. And what's crazy is behind that, Sasquatch had Hive almost done. So he was ready to transition as well, but he didn't even need to.
I'm not sure if he was checking his opponent's fourth, because if he saw the fourth, then you really don't have a reason to attack unless you for sure know I can kill him here. And then it was like about 20 supply less, and then suddenly like Sasquatch just like got that 20 supply like as the engagement happened. So it really wasn't that sure.
I mean, it's one of the it's just Sasquatch has such a good position, and of course all his hat tricks are right there.
Yeah.
And in ZVZ so often, or Zerg was anything, so often you see a Zerg at like 170, 180 supply. You look at the production tab and you realize that 40 to 50 to supply isn't even being produced.
Yeah.
And so those produced units join the battle in 5 seconds instead of in 30. That's a huge difference. And that's really the defender's advantage there. And Sasquatch is going to tie it up, so it's a very, very close series. Both players looking good there, both overextending at their own times, but Sasquatch able to like, close out from an advantage, where Suppy kind of threw the advantage away. But anyways, the final map will be Frost. We'll be right back with Frost after a short break.